Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers, number 38, the season review edition. But first off, I suppose the big news of the week, Bonotto out.
Oh yeah, that news. Sorry, yep.
Yeah.
Forgot where I was. Yep.
Yeah, we're talking F1, Matt.
Yep, F1.
No matter what your T-shirt says.
Is anyone surprised that he's gone?
Yeah. No, but yes. I don't think it's the right decision.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's going to backfire big time.
Massively. Especially if you genuinely haven't got a replacement lined up.
Oh no, I put my resume in, so I'm expecting a call.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
I think next year, if they do well, it's going to be because of what Bonotto's put in place so far. That's still going to roll over until next year, but yeah, the year after is going to be the side of how the replacement does.
Yeah, which that's the problem nearly, that next year is not going to be true judgment. Yeah. And then depending on who they get in, it could totally backfire. I mean,
100% will backfire.
Oh, it's going to be a fucking disaster. But
it's going to be glorious.
At the start of the year, the plan was to be competitive because after what happened with the engine and whatnot the other year, the plan was to be back competitive when the rules changed, when they could actually catch back up, which they were. But I think the whole it all got reset at the start of the year when they went on that winning spree, and everyone thought they were going to walk in the championship, which they didn't in the end. But do you just throw the baby out with the bathwater just because you reset your expectations at the start of the year and didn't meet it?
Yeah.
I think this is a super Ferrari tactic. If in doubt, throw everyone out.
This is how to go backwards.
Yeah. I think Ferrari achieved what they were planning on achieving anyway.
At the start of the year, I think by the end of the year, they were probably disappointed after they'd reset their expectations. After, say, round 2 or 3, they probably reset expectations that they were going to win the championship.
No, I don't think they expected to come out with the fastest car out of the gate.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought their aim was probably like, maybe 3 wins and to be competitive for most of the year, which they were.
Yeah.
They're just,
everything I've heard, every other podcast, article I've read has all said bad idea. I think every people who are listening is Ferrari.
Rob, it's hilarious for internet memes, people like myself, and Instagram memes to send to people. For Ferrari, I think it's a stupid idea, but for me, this will be hilarious for years to come.
This is the soccer mentality, the soccer manager mentality.
Yep.
Has one bad game, kick them out, get a new one.
Yep.
And that may not change anything, but it makes people feel better inside. So they got rid of.
And then the problem is now you will get a new Bonotto. He'll be even worse. And they'll start a rotating door policy where it's if you don't change the team, like if you don't have instant turnaround, if you don't win on the weekend, well, why are we keeping you? Off you go. We're going to bring in David.
That's what they had. Kind of after they got rid of Braun and that.
Yeah.
They did churn through, and Real Bonotto came in.
That's around the last 5 years or something.
I think it's worse. I think it's like 6 or 7 in the last. It's been a while since 2014. I think Dominicali came in.
Okay.
But then after that, they had Riva Bene, Mattiacci. There was someone else in there that was really short-lived.
When did we just start on generic Italian guy number 1, generic Italian guy number 2?
Yeah, and they need to get out of it. Like, say if you take Red Bull, like Christian Horner's been in charge of that the whole way through.
Yeah.
And it's not like 2014 things started not going so great. they didn't, which obviously that was more a Renault problem than an actual Red Bull problem. But they could have even turned around and gone, oh, yeah, the problem, Horner, chuck him out because we can't do anything about the engine. So chuck him out, and how would that have helped?
Yeah.
But Dave, that's the same. Like there are certain, I'm not going to say other sports. There are certain other companies even that will stick with a manager, strategist, or whatever through the tough times, and then they've done that with Mr. Ginger Spice, and now you'd probably say he's, he could probably be there for a couple more years, even if they had next year was a bad season, you wouldn't get rid of him.
No,
it would be.
He's also a CEO though. Oh God, I've already been banned. It's supposed to be Matt getting banned first.
Yeah. No. Mine's visual. I was clever. I read the rule book, and it said nothing about wearing a.
we have rules.
E-Scooter has clearly said, speaking about other sports, I am merely visualizing.
I think Ferrari will drop down next year. I think they will keep the status quo for another year.
I suspect they're going to be third.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And then Mercedes up to second.
Yeah, if not.
Alpine did build a half decent car this year. They get the reliability going.
Yeah, but they've also they've lost the best rookie they ever had.
They lost two of the good best rookies they probably ever had.
Yeah.
Alonso and Alonso.
How Ocon and Gasly go together will be big on that one.
Ocon has shown that he can't even play well with people he likes. That's going to be. That might actually make Drive to Survive a little more interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not like
that should be coming out soon, right, Dave? When does Drive to Survive come out?
Late January, early February.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because I've kind of stockpiled it. So I find it like more interesting watching it like 2 years after rather than.
Wow, like, that's a big wait, Dave. That's
Yeah, well, see, I know what's happened, but then it's like this year I watched the 2021. And it was a bit like, a trip down memory lane kind of thing. Whereas if I watch it straight away, it's a bit too dramatized, I suppose.
Spoilers.
This year was pretty crap anyway. I didn't even actually finish watching it. It was just too made-up drama.
What, for last season's one? They had the last race. They made that pretty exciting.
Yeah, I didn't watch that episode.
Spoilers. Your mate let Max win, and it was.
I just jumped on Twitter and watched that for more excitement.
Yep, and then you just watched an angry man throw his headset into the ground.
I think he's still pretty angry about that.
Oh no, he's 100%. But also because Red Bull fans will jump him in the street and say, is it no Mikey no or no Michael no? And then he jokingly corrects them. But deep down inside, he's like, I wish I could kill you. I wish murder was legal. Anytime someone said no Mikey no to me, I was legally allowed to pull out a gun and just shoot that Red Bull fan straight in the face.
How cool would it be if Max wore a t-shirt that said no Mikey no on it?
You know who I'd expect to wear that t-shirt? Seb or Alonso. They both seem the kind of shit stirrers. Like, if Seb's not wearing a t-shirt about like protecting the environment, he would just have a screen capture of Toto with that, that shock look when he found out that he, that they were going to win, and then just says no, Mikey, no, and he just wears that during the practice sessions. Yes, see, this is why E-Scooter is our race official.
See, that last race would have been good to do a live stream watch along. So if we were to go,
only we'd known at the time.
Yeah. Or how about this, Rob? I've got an idea, Rob. As a special episode, maybe later in the year, or maybe early next year, let's re-watch it and pretend that we haven't seen it.
Yes.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Can we do that all together in person?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you could do it.
I think we'll all go out wherever Dave lives, 400 kilometers from here, and we will watch it, and then we'll pretend we've never seen it, and then we'll act shocked when if anything shocking happens. Let's say that maybe nothing happens.
It's a title showdown. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it's like this year's race where absolutely nothing happened, and then everyone went home.
So everyone complained about that, what happened, but this year, everyone complained.
Well, you didn't have to worry about it this year.
Yeah.
Also, people are never happy, Rob.
Oh.
People want a race with excitement, but no excitement. But also, they want a safety car action, but also no safety car.
Yeah.
E-scooter, unrelated to anything. No, I decided not to because I figured I wouldn't make it to this live broadcast and I'd still be asleep.
What are you talking about, Matt?
I was just talking about I stayed up late to watch to do my homework, and I was going to stay up to 2:00 to do my homework, and I decided not to, and I decided to do my homework the next morning, sort of like a homework replay.
Is that why you're 1-0?
Yeah.
Teacher won.
Yep, teachers won, and I am nil. I also did my homework in my den, and I got a mark for it. Just 1 mark. Yep. I think I snuck that through, Dave. I did pretty well.
You just got past me.
You should put a beanie on to celebrate.
Oh, the beanies are in the other room.
That's so far away.
Yeah. My legs. I think this is good.
Yeah, although he's not the reserve driver. I think Liam Lawson's still reserve.
Yeah, he's
like the third driver. So
Dave, let's be honest. He's the guy that's that meme where he's waiting in the background to sneak up on Perez. As soon as he falls over, Danny runs past him. He goes, "No, I got to the car first. It's mine. I'm second. Piss off."
I could imagine Helmut Marko standing there with a crowbar though, just to take Perez out at the
I can also
knees.
see.
You're injured.
Yeah, and Max just going, "Oh, actually, me and Dan spoke. You're not invited to. You're not invited to Singapore. It's just me and Max. I spoke to Dad, and he said you can't come." So do you reckon Dan will get his race in Vegas still?
Sport. Is there any sport races on? Maybe you could jump in an F2 car or something.
That's later on in the season, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's got plenty of time to like oust out.
Yeah, for them to be disappointed in Perez and then shuffle him. Yeah,
we're going to rock up on a horse at Austin again with a cowboy hat as the third driver.
He said he was not going to go to every round. So, but I'd imagine he'll be Melbourne, Vegas, Monaco.
Austin. Has he got more time now to like ride around in a horse?
Yeah,
like at least because if he doesn't have to get to the he could just spend like the day riding around in a horse.
Yeah,
and a cowboy hat. He could do live crosses to Dan on a horse.
Well, I did actually hear an interview with him this week, and he said one thing he wants to do next year is actually ride across America on a mini bike.
That's
okay. I mean, everyone's got their goals in life, Dave, and one should not judge.
Yeah.
Sit on 40k an hour for 4 months.
Well, at the moment I am actually following a couple of English guys that one's in a wheelchair bike or whatever, like a hand cycle thing, and one's riding along with him, and they're actually riding from Florida across to LA.
I did watch a guy drive a toy Jeep with a little motorcycle motor in it. I don't know how far it was, but it was quite a few nights, and like had to fix this thing constantly. It was very entertaining. I don't think I'd ever want to do it myself. It looked very uncomfortable to sit in.
So next year, Dave, we're all going to, I don't know, ride a unicycle to Ballarat.
I was easy. I don't want to bring this up too early, but like, weren't we doing something with e-scooters?
Oh no, we are. That's a special episode.
What's Ballarat? Did I miss that?
What's in Ballarat? Not much, but we could ride a mini.
Oh, I thought I must have missed it, like a team meeting or something.
I think e-scooter technically, it's got wheels, so I think Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, it's a vehicle of some description.
And it was like some of the stories it was motorized.
Yeah, it's like talking about e-scooters.
Well, no, e-scooters are a whole tier of awesomeness, which we can get to later.
Do we want to do our little F1 kind of season summary, I suppose?
I think that's a
yes.
Okay. I reckon we start from the back of the field and work our way up to the good people. Not saying where we're going to start off is bad, but maybe not the best.
So are we looking at the our document, because I don't know who, Dave, but most of the numbers are the same size. But then
there's one big I don't know who added that in.
Yeah, there's this one. If only there was some way to check, the who wrote stuff in who. But if we start at the bottom,
there was 3 drivers in one team. Two did as well as each other, just going off the stats.
That's sharing.
So, like Nick and Nicholas both scored 25% of the team's points. The difference was one was only in the car for half a weekend.
And the other driver who scored exactly 2 points more was in treble season. One race more. No, one race less.
One race. And arguably, he wasn't in for their best chance of scoring points.
There should be like a ratio of time that you got the points. Like a hit rate of how many times you would get points. So Latifi's would be, one every 20 races he will get you points.
How good would it be if Latifi goes to IndyCar so we can continue to talk about him next year?
I can't wait.
I say we just talk about Latifi regardless.
Yeah.
We just have Latifi news.
It's like a weekly update of what he's up to.
We need to have a 5-minute update of just what Latifi's doing.
Yeah.
Because
I will miss all this Latifi talk next year.
I will try and reach out to him and see if we can get him on as a special guest.
Yeah. Ooh. Just use don't mention about our thoughts on him. Just you with his hat on and
Tell him you'll give him some Nutella as well for his troubles. I think that Nutella money might be drying up now. I don't know if he's still.
I think he purchases the Nutella.
Oh,
I think.
You mean his dad? His dad gives him Nutella pocket money, and he purchases it.
He earned at least $1 million a year driving F1 cars.
Yeah, that still blows my mind. And by Rob, you mean $1 million? You mean his dad paid him, and then he was like, "Oh man."
Well, what kind of happens though is Dad gives Williams a big load of money, and
big sack of cash.
Yeah, and then Williams goes, "Here, I'll give you an amount of money to come and drive for us."
Yeah.
So they skim a bit off the top, and then and then keep most of it.
They skim a large amount off the top, but he's paid for his job.
Yeah.
It's not like Daddy giving you pocket money.
But isn't that like being at a company and who's that? And like, oh, that's Dave. He's the senior minister of like strategic affairs. Isn't his dad the boss? Yeah, but he's got the corner office. Don't talk to him. He can't be fired. He literally sits in the corner and he plays golf and gets day drunk. I mean, that's.
This is a bit of a questionable subject for me because I did get my first job because of who I was related to, and probably where I'm working now. One of the best employees is actually a family member of one
actually,
of the owners.
if we're being honest, I got my first job because my family knew the boss of the company.
It's not always
I was there
it's
for
not
8
always
years,
a
Dave.
Latifi role situation.
I
So,
was there for 8 whole years, so I clearly didn't Latifi it.
yeah, that's the
So swap hats to the next lot.
Oh, here we go.
This one I was actually a little bit surprised at how far ahead Gasly actually was.
No, I'm not surprised.
I don't think
He's a PS5.
Yeah, but
He's
I
still
thought
a PS2.
Gasly had a pretty ordinary year for him. Like
Yeah.
he didn't,
but
he
usually
didn't
had
seem
a
to
pretty
get results.
poor.
They both had pretty bad years with reliability. Just set up.
But I wouldn't have envisaged it being kind of that one-sided though. Like Gasly scored 66% of the points for the team, or 23 to 12 points. That's and it's not like there was a highlight. Like it's he didn't where he won in Monza the other year. It wasn't like there was a podium or anything in there, so it's just consistently scoring more points. So I was a little bit surprised. I wouldn't have predicted that the gap was that big between them.
Yeah. I'm actually more shocked that Nick Schumacher scored points. Did
he actually scored points?
Well, they were actually a similar gap.
Actually, Rob, if you have a look, Mick scored his points in 2 races and then never achieved anything after that.
But was it actually all from 2 races?
He finished 8th and then he finished 6th, and then he did nothing. So in Great Britain and the
he did crash the car a bit.
Yeah.
He caused a lot of crash damage.
This one of the
Do you get points for that?
Style points?
Do you get points for causing crashes? Because if that's the case, Latifi would be
points on your license.
Here the commentators 6.5, 6.5, 7.2.
But see, just going back to Latifi though, even when he crashes, it's not like spectacular. At least Mick destroyed the car. Latifi will do a crappy little spin.
Latifi got lost once and then tried to blame his teammate. That's like me driving to my own house and then blaming my partner that I couldn't find my way home because she should have told me where our house was.
Wasn't it the same race that he got the fastest in practice?
In P2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, that's another T-shirt you should have. It's just a picture of him with the little purple stripe.
There's that pile of straws.
Just give me something, would you?
Let's go to Aston Martin with the
I haven't got my Aston Martin
billionaire Canadian.
This one, Dave, you shouldn't be surprised. In fact, I'm surprised that Stroll scored that many points.
Well, the car wasn't bad some of the time. So when the car was working, like Stroll was picking up those kind of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th places kind of thing. Where Seb was just that little bit. Seb was always in front for obvious reasons.
Because he's slightly better.
Yeah.
But Seb
hard.
did 2 less races as well, so his points rate is slightly better.
Yeah, but you'd fully expect. I imagine it's going to be a lot more lopsided next year. I think Seb was on a bit of a retirement tour, while Alonso will come in and be the next level up. Like this will probably.
Are you saying that the Rookie of the Year is going to have a good second year in his F1 career?
I think it's his rookie year again, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't know how it
Yeah.
worked. Okay, sorry.
I
Okay,
think
so-
because this is his first year with Aston Martin, so it's like it's his rookie year again.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, so the
Yeah.
rookie of the year will probably do well because he'll want to impress his new boss.
Yeah. Well,
That makes sense.
it's hard though. Do you impress the boss by destroying their son?
Yeah.
I think the dad knows that his son's not. It's like, you know, my son works at the company, and I'd like to tell him that he's really good, but deep down I know he's wasting a corner office.
Okay.
I could give that corner office to anyone else who's better, but I've gone this far now that he's in the car for so long. I can't just, you know.
He's like doubled down on this.
Yeah,
He's
he's
far
pretty
too
much,
long.
he can pretty much this year go, well, this next year, 2023, year of the Canadian. There's less Canadians holding back the other Canadians.
Year of the Canadian.
The Canadian.
As in one.
Single Canadian. And that means,
It's not
Dave,
two.
my prediction came true that there'll be more Australians in the F1 than there will be Canadians.
It's a pretty solid eyebrow lineup at Aston Martin next year. Honkers, and so does Alonso.
Is that what you're looking for next year in a team,
Yep.
Rob?
Yep. Eyebrows. Where's my Lance Stroll hat? Why is that not arrived in the week?
Oh, that crashed, Rob. That crashed back in your bathroom.
Crashed in my old Gucci hat.
Alfa Romeo.
This is not surprising at all because I keep forgetting that Chinese man actually is an F1 driver because he doesn't crash, he doesn't score points, he just totters around.
I would say probably the best crash of the year.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular in Silverstone.
Yeah.
But most of the time you forget he's there. He's like he's like you're playing F1 and he's like the last AI to be added, and you're like,
when he had that crash, it almost seemed like the people, the stewards actually forgot he was there too.
Yeah, everyone forgets that he's there.
Yeah.
Like Latifi's number one at becoming, running his own race, being 20 seconds behind everyone.
Yeah.
But he sits there, he scores 6 points. That's Latifi level points. That's what Latifi aimed for.
Well,
yeah, but
the F1 themselves probably look at that film. That's $6 billion he's brought into F1.
Well, at least he probably brings in money. Latifi just brings in loonies, and no one spends Canadian loonies anyway. He's not doing anything for the sport.
McLaren.
To the highest paid and the second worst ratio of two drivers.
Yeah.
At least Joe is only getting like $1 million. He's not getting 26 million.
But look, Rob, in Dan's defense, and I think a lot of people realize, Dan brings a lot of people to F1, not just McLaren fans. He brings F1 fans. I think a lot of people watch the F1 for Dan, and they don't care that he's not championship material. He's the amusing face of F1.
I'm going to go on record and say I don't find him that amusing. I don't find him funny, entertaining. I actually find him
Dave, kick him out. Kick him out right now.
I was just thinking that.
Ban him for life. That's outrageous.
There's a reason he's got a job next year.
Yeah. He's the face. He's the annoying face of Red Bull.
So anyway, the Dan appreciation 10 minutes starts now without
the numbers are a bit shocking though.
They really don't look good.
When you look at that, yeah, like 77% of the points were scored by Lando.
Yeah,
that's it's a bit hard to. And Lando actually got a podium, the only non-top 3 guy to get a podium.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Lando just did consistently good, not great. He just did consistently. Like he pretty much scored points in most of the races he was in.
Yeah. As I said, the big test next year is going to be whether Piastri can come in and be competitive, or whether McLaren realises that there is kind of an issue. And if Dan goes to Red Bull and even jumps in the sim and starts being competitive, like if he jumps in the sim and he's 3 seconds off the pace, well, there's an issue there.
Yeah.
But if he jumps in the sim and he's on the pace with Max and Checo, and then Piastri struggles at McLaren, well, they've really got to look inside and, try and figure out what's going on.
How much time do you reckon Danny's actually spent in a sim? Like he said that he's gone on record before saying that he thinks it's pointless, even any type of sim racing.
I know during one of the American weekends, he spent a lot of time on F1 2023 because there was a weekend you could play it for free, and I saw him sit down and play it. Maybe he played it for 5 minutes. Maybe he played it for a couple of hours.
Because during COVID, when they were all locked down, there was no racing. I think Lando and Max were sim racing constantly at home.
Lando loves it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's entertaining to watch and really good in sim. But Danny was just like, nah, don't want to do it. It's a kid's game. Whereas the others were just constantly.
I think it was a kid's game until EA drove up to his house with a dumper truck full of money and said, "Can you be the face of FIFA for F1 2023?" F1. I said F1. You. I don't know what you heard, but it starts the same. FI, which is FIFA internationally. It's Italian for vroom vroom racing car.
I think you'll find though, if he can spend time in the sim and prove himself that he's better than Checo, all of a sudden he'll be like, oh yeah, this sim gig's not so bad. I'll jump on here and continue to prove my worth.
Yeah,
so that you put me in a seat next year.
Yeah.
If he starts racing the sim, like you said, and he's either on the pace or maybe like a tenth of a second off, would that be enough?
All he has to do is be close to Max, which that means he's beating Checo.
Yeah, but if he can do it in the simulator, would they accept that as?
I think they'll probably put him in a 2021 car. They'll be able to run around with next year. They were this year anyway, but they'll put him in one of those just to see how it goes, and then maybe even put him in an FP1 or something, just to get a bit of an idea. Or Checo magically gets sick and Dan gets a weekend.
I already heard that Checo's put in some sick leave. I had a look at the HR sheets.
I'm not sure if he put in the sick leave or it was put in for him.
Well, I think he's missing the races.
Either way, he's got COVID, and
Do you think Helmut comes up to him and goes, "Look, Checo, I had a look at the schedule. You're busy the weekend of this race," and he goes, "No, I'm not. I'm free." He goes, "No. I don't think you listened. You're busy this week." And then in the background, Dan's hidden behind a bookshelf, and he quickly scurries away and goes, "Max, I heard the good news. Me and you were F1 buddies."
We'll give you Mexico, but Dan's taking the rest of the year.
Yeah. On iRacing, Max Verstappen has a 60.34% win ratio, 83.09% top 5.
I think he has a better ratio in F1 this year.
Probably, actually. His cost of how much it's like repair bill is
68% win ratio in F1 this year.
Yeah, wow.
Max had.
Yeah, his average finish on iRacing for the 290 starts he's had third.
Third.
But yeah,
Oh, wow.
290 starts, 175 wins, and he's on iRacing. There's like a rating system out of 10,000, and he's 8,800, which is high. Mine's like 2,000. Horrible.
So what
So
you're saying?
you're the Latifi.
Yeah, you're trying to say what compared to the current F1 champion of the world.
My win ratio.
So sorry, Rob, I missed that. What was that? How many?
I'm waiting for it to come up.
I think he said he wants to talk about Alpine.
This one surprised me actually.
My win ratio is 5.07%.
Oh yeah,
It's better than expected.
you're not exceeding expectations, but
30% top 5 though.
Oh.
That's something.
It's better than mine.
Yeah. 0.
Now, Fernando did miss out on about 360 points that he was going to score, but due to reliability issues.
That's right, because his engine blew up or a pigeon got COVID and flew into his car.
But someone genuinely did an analysis, though, and it was about 80 points I think he missed out on.
He did miss a lot.
Yeah. Not even the last race. Like, what was the problem? Like,
Water leak.
Yeah. The car is reliable when it's jumping over other cars and slamming into walls. But then,
but Rob, it was set for stunt mode, not for F1 mode. You know how you've got soft tires, hard tires. He's got stunt mode tires. They're really spongy. So when you do this, it can go whoosh, and it gives you better lift. Nice. They got like comical tiny little springs in them, like in the cartoons. So it goes bingy, 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 bingy.
The wings around the other way, so it floats further.
I think he put the tires on backwards. So instead of getting down force, he got up force. And then the car just flies away.
Is he stealing Ferrari strategies?
No. But they looked at that, Rob, and went, someone write this down. We can use it next year when we don't have a boss. Do you think it'll just be like it'll be like a who's in charge situation when the cars come in, when someone says box, they won't be ready because it'll be like, Dave, I thought you were in charge. No, I thought Rob was in charge. And then I'll be sitting in the corner playing what were they playing during the rain? Uno.
It's all right. You've got Carlos can call the strategy from the car.
Yeah.
So Carlos
he'll just do both the strategy for both cars. Yeah,
but Dave, there's one thing of like calling the strategy. If he comes in and asks for 4 tires, they're only going to have 3.
Well,
which one?
You can't do everything himself.
Do you think he has to get out and fix up like the front leg?
Yeah, gets out of the car. All right, guys, I'll change the tires as well.
I'll change the front passenger tire. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Is this going to be a new sitcom on TV? Who's the boss with Tony Danza in charge of their...
I would watch that Netflix show where no. I've just thought of it, Rob, because I've seen a show similar to it. It stars Kevin James, and for some reason he's thrust into the world of F1 because originally he was like a primary school teacher, and it's the best they could do. And his wife is Leah Remy again from King of Queens because he hires her for everything.
Yeah,
no one steal that idea. I'm going to send that to Netflix tonight. If I'm not on this show next year, it means I'm an executive producer at Netflix and I'm making millions.
Or the Ferrari team principal.
Yeah, I can still film my TV show while being a Ferrari principal.
Yeah, I mean, I could do with a holiday in Italy for like 12 months.
Monaco on actually drivers dying. That brings us to a new sponsor this week.
Shadow Raid Legends.
Yeah.
I thought it was Manscaped.
I thought it was Ridge Wallet.
Let's get Manscaped and we can video ourselves trimming and
we're gonna lose viewers. We should just say
You
all
better
the
get in
sponsors that
somewhere.
we want, and then if someone does sponsor us, we've already created ads for them.
Yeah, we've covered it.
Yeah,
So if you want to shave like this,
yeah. If you
get the
forgot to shave
lawnmower
like us,
17.6.
They're paying good money to get a cut through it today.
oh,
I didn't.
On work time.
oh yeah,
Oh, we forget.
Squarespace. Yeah. We've got a website for Squarespace, and
What about ExpressVPN?
oh yeah, there's a VPN.
Yeah,
And,
if you want to be safe and watch Netflix that you're not allowed to.
So
ExpressVPN.
actually, how long are we going to be off the air for?
You ask these questions like we have plans.
Yeah,
Well,
Rob, I told you we're going to
think-
have specials. We're going to have Christmas specials where we watch the 2021 final race. We're going to have an e-scooter race up the street.
Yeah.
We'll probably do some live viewing of some movie, but we're not going to tell you what the movie is. You just have to understand it from what we say and describing it.
I was just thinking we can post updates for what we're doing on our OnlyFans site.
That's a good idea.
Do you have an OnlyFans site?
Yeah, I've got one. It's just pictures of my fans. You know.
Yeah. Do we have like a Facebook page and a Twitter or Instagram and
they're all jobs for Rob over Christmas by the sounds of things.
Yep, sounds like Rob's our new social manager. Congratulations, Rob. And thanks to Squarespace for giving us the Twitter website.
Mercedes.
This one didn't surprise me at all because George is just he should be the new number one. I think.
Was actually very close though between the two of them. If the Lewis was doing random testing and whatnot, if all of that's true,
I think that was an excuse.
Yeah, that's like you know when like you go for a run, you're like, oh, couldn't go as fast, I pulled a hammy. That's the F1 equivalent of I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I felt a twinge in my leg.
It was very close. What was it? Eight podiums to 9. George did get the win and a pole.
One win to 0.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was pretty close, really. Like most of the time, they were like 5th and 6th on the grid, or it wasn't like.
You'd almost say it was 1-0.
Whoa!
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Ferrari. Leclerc was just better this year.
Yep.
Yeah, Carlos had a horrible run at the start. He seemed to be struggling with the car to start, but then got the grips to it.
But he never seemed to be on the same kind of last year probably got masked a little bit because he did the more steady approach and just picked up the points. Whereas, this year Leclerc was probably a bit more on it.
Yeah, I reckon next year they might be closer together. I don't know. I think
the gap's going to get bigger.
Which way?
Ooh.
I think Leclerc will get will dominate even more.
What is
and I really rate Carlos Sainz as well.
So you reckon Carlos will drop off the pace then? Because they're already up pretty.
I think Leclerc's just the confidence, and he made some stupid, like France this year. That was just stupid. I think he'll start pegging back those kind of rookie mistakes that he shouldn't be making in his 5th year in this series. But I think he'll peg that back a bit, and the gap will be bigger.
Can you put this in the notes for the review next year? Then I reckon Sainz will be closer.
If it happens, I will remember. If it doesn't happen,
you'll forget.
I'll conveniently forget.
Perfect, done. Let me just write this here.
Yeah.
And the final one.
The champions, Red Bull.
Yep. I think that's what you want from a 1-2, don't you? 60-40. That's a decent split.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a big gap though.
Yeah, but they were scoring so many points I mean, it's 50 points between basically the number 1 team and the number 2 team.
I didn't realize Sergio had 2 wins. I thought he only had 1, but
what was it? Monaco, and it was another earlier one, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
And if he didn't win Monaco, he may have finished second in the thing because Max wouldn't have held a grudge if the internet is to be believed.
Without as many points. That's only a speculation. Max needs to come out and tell the truth.
Yeah. If only he came out and told us.
Do you think Max is will ever tell his reasons, or he's happy with what he's why he's done it? He'll just because what happens if this happens again next year?
The moment's gone.
Yeah, but
well,
what
he says it's all sweet now. We've been through it.
I think it'll be all sweet when they get rid of Perez, and then he'll be like, "That's what I was."
Replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. Because do you think Dan will follow team orders a lot more because he's not technically he's more of a contractor than a permanent, Red Bull staff? And if they say we need you to let Max overtake you or team orders,
Yeah, I'm not sure if he will stick with something like that though. If he does actually get it, I mean, he might be like, yeah, cool, sweet as bro. I'll finish second. And he's like, fuck this. I'm going for it. I'm going to lick the stamp and send it.
Now, Dave.
Can we go back to that last Raw for Holden? Because there wasn't a Commodore in the last year or 2, 3 years or whatever it's been.
Well, it's got a Commodore badge on it, so it is a Commodore.
Yeah, well, I've seen Toyota Lexus badges on it.
It's a Commodore.
Well, no, they were Commodores with Toyota Lexus badges.
They're saying Commodores with Chev badges on it doesn't mean they're a Chev.
No, it makes them cool. It makes them very, very cool.
Without getting into the argument here, they were sold as Holden Commodores here, so yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the worst mistake they made. They should have stuck a different badge on it and went, we're done with Commodore. That car was a good car. The car was a really nice car.
I've never driven one, but from people who have that I've spoken to have all said, yeah, pretty good car, but it's not a Commodore.
Yeah, they should never have put
no. And that was part of the problem. But also, I mean, realistically, the rest of the Holden lineup was junk.
Yeah.
Like, even the Colorado, which was essentially then their best seller, that was, what, 5th or whatever best? Yeah. Probably not even 5th best in its category. Like, you've got Ranger, Amarok, Hilux, BT50, all better than it. Probably, I've even heard the D-Max, which is essentially the same car, was, the engine-wise in the D-Max is better than what was in the Colorado. So, they got their self to blame on that one.
Yeah.
Just,
I think GM wanted to get rid of them anyway, so.
Yeah, well, that's probably part of it. I mean, you're spending a lot of money on, to sell 100,000 cars here in the. Well, we wouldn't have even been 100,000 at the end, would it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, like the peak of Commodore, they were selling 100,000. So
it'd be like tens of thousands. That would be fleet and rental car sales. I do like how the new Gen 3 cars look. The Mustang doesn't look like a weird blob with an AU Falcon roof on it.
They do look pretty cool.
Generic car B is something that no one can buy ever.
You can buy them second hand.
What? How many?
3.
Are they let's go to car sales. How many the first time I think that car sales hasn't come up automatically when I hit C. It's finally starting to realise that I don't really need to buy another car. It's not even there's nothing under Holden.
Yes, it does.
if you go to Holden, actually no, so look at wagons.
Hmm.
My search is already wagons.
Now, Dave, important question, because we've made it past the 40-minute mark. We've done quite well. I
Yeah.
have here 11, what I would like to say, my new greatest questions for you and Rob, and for people.
Are these for the quiz? We're doing the quiz next week. Okay.
Are we doing the quiz next week, or are we doing it now? Because this is like the end.
No, we'll do it next week.
I'm not going to be here next week.
I think this is our final.
The week
show,
after.
So we do the.
Do we do it the week after, or do we?
We'll do it the week after. We'll do like a special.
We'll do a Christmas special.
A Christmas special.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will save the quiz. We can get people to.
Yeah. If anyone else wants to join us in on the quiz, shoot
it'll be fun, and Dave will probably find some prizes.
What was the name of that the generic car B that's in
Camaro?
Camaro?
Yeah, you can buy them in Australia, but they're not cheap.
Not listed on the.
No, the Camaro's not being sold anymore.
Camaro.
There we go.
It would have been under a I'm trying to remember what they were sold under. Because they weren't. I think they were Chef Camaros. They weren't Holdens.
Yeah, maybe it's on the show. It's not under HSV or Holden.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were sold Chevrolets.
Cherry.
This is the best. This is the best called Rob tries to use the internet.
Do we just put him on mute?
Yeah, let's just get rid of Rob again.
There's 64 for sale. 125 grand, 118 grand. Oh God, there's a 67 Camaro that looks beautiful for 95 grand.
Well, it's even cheaper. You just save money.
I would rather buy that than one of the new ones.
Are the Camaros meant to be like the Commodore replacement, Dave?
No.
Like,
and then you can't buy them anymore.
Wow, there's 260K.
You could buy a Corvette for less.
Oh my God, there's a 1996 one for 34,000. God, it's so ugly and I want it.
Yeah, I was going to say they were really bad, weren't they?
Were Z28. Oh my God, 40,000 Ks on the clock. It's almost at the end of its lifespan. Every nut and bolt would have to be tightened on it.
So Rob, also another idea for my TV shows. Rob buys a car and fixes up the car over the year. No one's ever done this, so this is a groundbreaking idea.
Yeah, this is totally new for we could put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I say Rob buys a car for like, I don't know, $300, and each week,
and then you label it. We bought the cheapest. Insert car name here.
Yes.
Off Marketplace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Genius.
I'm trying to get in the stream so I can post a link to this car that I found.
Are we buying a backseat driver's car? Ironically, that won't have a backseat. It'll just be a two-seater car.
No, this is all back seats.
I'm concerned.
Am I still banned? Oh, I'm on the backseat drivers chat. That's why.
This went off the rails very quickly.
This went from like doing well, and then Rob tried to use the internet to buy a car.
Yeah, and it all just totally off the rails.
It's fallen apart.
We may as well start talking about soccer.
No. I don't think else is posting. I'm pretty sure I'm still banned on YouTube in this chat.
Oh, when I put you on, really?
I'll post it in the private chat.
I don't know. I would have thought that was because I only put you on. I put user in timeout. That's all I did, and then it's like, FUD is banned. Well, that escalated. It was a bit of a joke.
Yeah. So Dave, do you want to make some outlandish claims that Rob has already made for next year, that there will be a big gapper next year, as Rob has written in our notes?
Bigger the gap.
Bigger gapper.
Bigger the gap
Well,
up.
that's I think Leclerc is going to be a lot further ahead of Sainz.
I think the gap is going to be close.
And I think Dan's going to start at least one race next year.
Ooh. And will it be Las Vegas?
Could well be. And I think Piastri is going to struggle next to Norris.
Ooh.
I don't want that to happen, but I think it will.
I think it will. Well, I reckon maybe the first 6 races, he's just going to get demolished. After that, I think things will start getting a little closer, but not too close.
I think the gap's going to be similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I reckon Dylan will get a race next year as well.
Do you reckon
because the Alpines punch on and
Hopefully. I really hope so.
So does that mean there'll be 3 Aussies on the grid at some point next year?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
And only 1 Canadian?
Yes. That'll be Las Vegas. 3 Aussies.
And it'll be a 1-2-3 finish in Vegas.
And the key thing is there's no record of this on the internet. So
so we can make ridiculous claims and no one will ever come back to tell us.
I reckon there'll be a Tonya Harding incident with Perez.
I'm not sure I get that reference.
You already mentioned it, Dave. Crowbar to the knee. And then someone won't be able to race.
Might not specifically be that, but he might just get sick.
The ice dancing thing where
do you think he'll be? When's his contract finish?
Who?
I think it's at the end of 2024. I think they actually signed him earlier on in the year up to a longer contract.
They did.
And that was before the whole De Vries coming in, Gasly going, etc. Like, I think they were in that kind of position there where they didn't think they had options. Yeah. And they're like, well, Perez is doing okay. And now everything's just totally like, well, it's not totally, but it's switched around a bit.
Yeah. Do you reckon they might just at the end of next year go, we like Dan, time to...
Do you reckon Dan would be happy to play second fiddle finally?
I think he will say that he is.
I think he's got to realise now that second fiddle at the number 1 team is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he should have done. He should have stayed there and played second fiddle and taken the wins that he could have taken.
Yeah, I reckon he should have stayed at Red Bull the entire time, and he probably would have had a couple of constructors.
But having said that, though, at the time, like, if I was in that position, I probably would have done the same as what he did.
Because he would be known as the Rubens Barrichello.
Yeah. He was basically in that position where he was going to have to accept that he was going to be second to Max. And the other issue was that was when they were taking over the Honda deal.
Yeah.
Which was an absolute disaster at McLaren. And they hadn't really started to see the fruits of it because Toro Rosso had the Honda for that year.
Yeah.
And it was still pretty disastrous that first year with Toro Rosso. So they were taking that over and he was going to have to accept playing second fiddle. You're like, well, this is the time to kind of make it. I can totally understand why he made the jump when he did. Sure, it didn't turn out well in the end, but
he also probably thought Renault were going to do a lot better than where they were being, where they've been in the past. He probably thought they were going to do better, and he probably thought the same about McLaren as well.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have had reasons besides, stacks of cash.
Yeah, I don't think the cash hurt, but Apparently, Red Bull were offering pretty much the same amount as what Renault were for him.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, that's what they say, but whether that's true or not.
I think his biggest problem is he's not technically minded. He doesn't understand anything about the car itself. All he knows is getting car drive fast. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
He's
not faster than McLaren.
he's not one of those drivers that will get the car, take it out for a couple of laps, and go, "You need to adjust this, this, and this."
No, he's not like Lando under the car pulling apart after a race. He's like, "Oh, screwdriver! I don't know what to do."
But if you give him a car that works for him,
he's fast enough.
Yeah.
But I don't think he knows what to talk to the team about to get how he wants it. I don't think he understands enough of that part of it.
Do you
Because
reckon
he
the
did
Red Bull?
struggle the first 6 months at Renault.
Yeah. But even McLaren, there's videos of like him getting coached in the car during a race and how to drive the car in the race.
But I don't think that helped either with him doing things like that.
No. But at least McLaren actually tried. Like they weren't just going, "Oh, you're just doing shit." Like they actually tried to wherever they could. But
Do you reckon the car at Red Bull was just pretty well made set up for him? So he basically just went, "Car good, I go now."
Well, I think it was just a much better car.
Yeah.
And it's but there's something, even like Carlos Sainz said, that the McLaren was very hard to get your head around.
Yeah.
Which see, also Lando doesn't have any other experience other than the McLaren.
Yeah. So if Lando was to move to another car, do you think he would struggle with it?
No, but it could go either way, or he could turn around and go, "Holy sh! I was driving that for."
This is why I said Lando is my driver of the year, because he had a car that was supposedly a horrible car to drive.
Well, that's the other thing, though. Could Lando actually just be absolutely on another planet? Like, if you put him in that Red Bull, could he just go out and destroy Max?
That's like Sergio and Max. Like the difference between them. Like maybe Lando is just that good that he's.
That's the other thing, because he did in his rookie year, he fared quite well against Fernando in his rookie year.
Yeah.
So,
I'm really keen to see what happens next year with him and Oscar, because I think Oscar's a good driver. I think he did play it safe in Formula 2. Like he did kind of not. If he was going to score points, he would rather just score points than like battle for a win. Yeah, and have a crash and lose it. He'd rather just, rather take the points than not have the points.
Well, I think you want that. You kind of want that in your first year F1 driver too, because if you went through the year in 20 races you scored points, but you went the way where maybe 5 of the races you win and 10 of them you crash out. You'd take the guy that's just, especially in your first year, if you scored, say, 4 points a race, that puts you on 80 points. That's a decent, that would have put you, just inside the top 10 if you scored 4 points a race.
Yeah, and that's what I'll call. Sorry, God, I forgot his name now.
Lando.
Gasly did. Like he kind of just did what he had to do to get the points, and then once he had signed up for the championship, he was balls to the wall and didn't fucking hold back on the track. It was kind of exciting to watch him once he just was let loose and he didn't have a championship in the balance. He went all out, didn't give a shit. It was fantastic. So I'm really. It's probably my thing that I'm looking forward to next year the most, is seeing how Lando and Gasly do together.
Be a very interesting battle.
Yeah. Like between all the different drivers and all the different teams, I think that's probably the most exciting part. It's just to see how those two go against each other.
No, I'm really Alonso versus Stroll. That's the
Yeah,
one on.
I want to see. I want to see Alonso have to have that awkward meeting with Papa Stroll and just go, look, I understand he's your boy, but he's useless.
You reckon?
I know the plumber down the road. He's never driven a car before, but we could probably get him for cheaper.
Do you reckon Verstappen, not Verstappen, Vettel will come back as Alonso was alluded to? No.
You reckon they'd have team old people? If
we see Vettel again, he'll be like the Ferrari team principal.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'll do something like that. He won't come back to drive either.
I heard a rumor that they tried to get Ross Brawn back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, does Ross actually want to do it?
No, he's the big daddy now. Why would he?
What's he doing?
No,
now?
well, he's finished up with the FIA.
Oh, has he? No,
yeah, he's retired.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
so
so he's
2018 retired.
No, not up to date Formula One. Okay, we need to retire my spot.
So
okay. Well, there's that option, but I don't think he'll go back. I don't think it's where he wants to be. And
no.
Who's the Sauber guy they were trying to get?
Frederick Vassula.
Do you know what he also does? Do you know what his other company is? Spark, who builds racing chassis.
Oh, really? Because he was ART.
Yeah, well, he builds all the cars for Formula. God, what is that sport?
Electricity racing.
Yeah.
Formula Excitement.
Yeah, Formula Excitement. He builds all the cars for Formula Excitement.
The E is for excitement.
Yeah.
He builds all the chassis for Formula Excitement.
What, personally?
Yeah. Plays the carbon fiber, puts it in the autoclave, does all that type of stuff.
Maybe he can build the Ferraris. Although the Ferraris, the chassis was pretty good this year.
They had the technical director was in charge of the team, and the technical part was amazing.
Yeah, they just need to get the strategy and a bit of engine reliability.
Yeah.
But see, that's the other thing, though. Like with the Ferrari, they went for all-out power on the engine because you are allowed to fix reliability at the moment, which is the same thing as what Renault did.
Reliability towards the end started getting better. There was
Ferraris or Renaults?
Ferrari.
Yeah.
The
car that's it.
More.
Yeah. But at least they've got that there. Like if they pull back a bit of reliability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Next year we'll find out.
Yeah.
Do we think Lewis will get better next year and finally win a race again?
No.
Because remember, Dave, he had the worst car in the entire field.
Well, he had the worst car in 2021 as well.
Yeah, he had an awful car. In fact, he's lucky to finish a race.
Yeah.
Now the George has won one race. I actually hope Lewis wins any race that Mercedes wins next year.
Just to keep George quiet.
Yeah, I think that'll be another close battle next year.
Yeah,
between them.
Yeah.
I think both of them will win next year.
Yeah, the George did show his inexperience compared to Lewis many times.
That's true. He did. Yeah. But George is only like what 14 years old right now, so he's got a lot to.
Yeah. The thing is, though, so with George, like he did do 3 years at Williams.
Yeah.
So this is his fourth.
3, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 3.
When
this is fourth.
Kubica,
Kubica, and then 2 with. He's only one clamp. But say Leclerc only did 1 year with Sauber and then went straight to Ferrari.
Yeah.
With George, he has done 3 years at Williams, so he's fairly experienced at Formula One.
I did hear him talking about his time at Williams. He was saying that half the time the car was falling apart, they were just doing whatever they could to kind of bolt it together to get it around the track.
Nothing like a bit of drama from a Mercedes driver.
What?
Yeah.
A Mercedes driver said that they had the worst car. This is the first I'm hearing of this, Dave.
He had a Mercedes engine in that car, so he was a Mercedes driver then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, he was contracted to Toto and that.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a horrible experience, wouldn't it? Contracted to Toto.
Yeah, not contracted
know.
to Mercedes. He's contracted to Toto.
Toto.
So whatever Toto tells him to do, he has to do. If he needs pumpernickel rye loaf, he has to go get the pumpernickel.
Expecting with his headset.
He's gonna drive the kids to school, and there's no mention of Max. If you mention Max, you don't get to come home that night.
You're a very bad boy. You should not have hit Bottas. You should not. Let me hit you with my headphones.
My new ergonomic headsets that bounce now off the table when I throw them on the ground.
Are they sponsored by Bose, aren't they? What the hell, Bose?
They must be. They must have ads of just Toto throwing them in mid-flight.
Mashing them. We resist Toto.
Our one, we've got Toto resistant headsets.
I'm pretty proud of it. It was 1 hour and 11 minutes, and we're still talking about Formula One, and we don't actually have show notes this week. We're done well.
How did this happen?
Professionalism had finally kicked in. It's taken 38 episodes, Dave, but you've finally done a professional team.
We'll have a couple of weeks off over Christmas, and it'll all turn back to.
Did we actually start of the season? I don't even remember. But
Dave,
yes.
There was only 38 races.
Rob, you know what it was like? I like to imagine it's just like original Top Gear. So Dave's Jeremy Clarkson, and then he had a bunch of other people that talked about used cars, whoever that guy's name was. And then James May and Hamster were brought in, and now it's the essential. And Boovy.
We're waiting for our Amazon deal.
And I think Boovy's what's her name? The test car driver.
Sabine.
Yeah, Boovy can be Sabine.
Sorry, Boovy.
Also, Dave, I don't know if you heard, but Boovy, I think, is going to become our resident sim racing driver. Seeing that Rob's not doing anything with his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard news that Boovy is going to be doing simulation driving, and I think then the next show will give us a report on his.
He's going to do all the setups for us.
Yep, he's going to do all the setups.
Cool.
I tried to do a race. I tried to do Interlagos in
real time.
There's only one current-ish Formula One car in iRacing, and that is the Mercedes. And
so the worst car.
I plowed into Carlos Sainz in the first corner. So
you were struggling with the tyres.
Struggling with just ability.
Taking notes.
Yeah.
This person cut a corner.
Crikey! Someone just cut me across.
That was dangerous. That was so dangerous. Now, I thought we were looking at F3 reporter for next year. Or was it F3?
You were going to watch F2.
I'll do F2. I love F2. I haven't actually watched the last race of the season, but I love F2.
Wow.
It got ruined for me. So.
Because you knew the result.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that what's the American's name?
Sargent
would miss out. And
but someone else would have got the drive.
Yeah, no. But
Latifi retired.
Ooh.
Retired? Is that the official
like Benotto. It wasn't
now. How'd you go?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do with that haircut though? That haircut was amazing. It's like shaped out.
Yeah, that's right. He had a
Special haircut.
He had some good haircuts. You don't see that from Toto and.
No, they're very boring,
Toto's
aren't they?
no nonsense though. Toto has. I think when Toto goes and gets a haircut, he's got a picture up on the wall, and he just says that one.
Yeah. You can set you.
No, he would get someone to come out and give him a haircut. It would be a power move. Like he'd be in his office getting shaved and haircut. Yeah.
I think we're gonna have with the quiz. I think I'm gonna have a special e-scooter presentation. So Dave can nod off for 5 or 10 minutes.
The e-scooter was on KO.
Yes.
I was supposed to watch it this week because I thought we were going to have a quiz this week. I didn't watch it.
Wrong.
Drag it out. We'll get more viewers.
We'll get more episodes in if we drag it out with the quiz and e-scooters.
And then it sounds like we're more professional.
Yeah.
The more episodes you've done.
On next episode, backseat drivers.
I think it's
we'll talk about nothing.
Yeah.
That's why we go for over an hour.
Yeah. It's
just 3 guys.
It's an hour and 15 minutes of no quality.
I wasn't actually going to suggest you, Dave, if you wanted to do like a early in the week chat about just cars in general.
Well, we could do, yeah. These are probably offline discussions.
These are we could have a production meeting now. Get everyone involved.
It's an hour and 16 minutes. I thought everyone got good by now.
No, we've hit.
Everyone's still here.
Yeah,
so,
they know that this is the best bit. It's where.
Yeah, that menu load should be Deliveroo, shouldn't
it? They gave up.
They gave up.
Well, there's going to be lots of people sitting around with Deliveroo costumes on, so.
I've got some. I think they were Uber Eats stories, but so we're Unit 1 at say 10 whatever street we're on. Yeah. So one of our meals was delivered to 110 that street. Yeah. It's real hard to understand. Like Unit 1, 10. Yeah. No, it's 110. And there was another one. We actually watched the guy deliver it, or we saw across the street had the unit, like number 1 across the street, had food on their doorstep. And we'd actually rang up like the delivery guy, where's our food kind of thing. I've delivered it. And we're like, did you deliver it across the street? No. Anyway, while we're on the phone, he went back, picked it up, took it back to the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Rather than bring it across the street to us, he picked it up and took it back to the restaurant. So what was crap, though, because we rang the restaurant and said, hey, what's going on? So they actually made us new food.
Yeah, nice.
So we went and picked it up. But, yeah, so they essentially had to make 2 meals.
Yeah. Well, I live one block down from, one house block down from the corner. And the Jeep, I'm in the 3rd unit down. So you put my address into Google Maps and it actually takes you to the street on the side because it's actually closer to my place than from the front. So the neighbour around the corner constantly gets food left at his front door because they don't knock on the door, they just leave the food at the front door. And he just I've been around there and it's like gone from his front door, he's taking it in. And they end up having to contact Uber Eats and they send out new food. He's also got HelloFresh deliveries at his camp.
Well, that's good for him.
He got an Xbox game delivered one day from Amazon, which I found at his front door. also had a $160 record delivered to his address that Amazon refunded me for and turned up at my front door a couple of days later.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so we got something out of it.
What frustrates me though, like, because we've all, like, when we were clearing the block of land that we're building on at the moment, we had Uber Eats sent to that block of land where there's no house or anything, but because it has a normal street address,
that's the best, Dave. That's why we got it.
Yeah, no problem in the world.
We have
Like,
street
yeah.
number and street, and you can't get
Yeah.
it wrong because the street number is on the letterbox.
Because I thought if they can't manage to deliver to something that's existing, we have got no chance of getting delivered to, an empty block of land. No problem. That was all fine.
I've accidentally been at a friend's place around the corner and ordered food to my address and had to run home to get it. He's had it ordered to his bar that he owns on the other side of their suburb, and we've had to jump in an Uber to get over there to get dinner.
Doesn't it come up though with that? I can imagine if you're pretty close, but it doesn't look like you're in the area.
Yeah, it says you're not in the area because I've tried to order that.
It didn't do that a couple of years ago. It only seems to be doing that for Probably because of people like us.
Well, see, where I used to live, we basically couldn't get Uber Eats because we were that far out. So I've only more recently been using it.
Rob, you got to understand, Dave used to literally live on a farm, and
still does.
Yeah,
the problem was we didn't have a big radius.
I've seen photos out of these new properties. It looks like one of those wastelands where there's just nothing.
It's cheaper out in the country.
It just that they don't have food out there, Rob. They've just got trees.
There's a reason it's cheap.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I think the problem
food delivery or
Dave, our problem, and you're gonna love this first world problem, when we order stuff from Uber Eats, there's too much selection and it ends up taking us 20 minutes to pick what we want.
Well, see, we have that now because we got like 10 options. So it's like, oh my God.
Oh no, we've got like 50. And I get asked questions like, what do you feel like eating? I'm like, what's on offer? And then I get it read to me and I'm like, oh, you just pick. And then 2 minutes later, a HSP just shows up at the front door.
Perfect.
I don't know how it happens, but it's just magical.
All I have around my area is pizzas, burgers, or dad Chinese.
Around here, like if you want like pizza or burgers, my God, the amount of choices.
Yeah. I got pizza last night from a pizza shop that doesn't use Uber Eats. They have their own drivers. It was for a large pizza and a garlic bread. It was less than $20 delivered, and 21 minutes from the time I rang them to the time I was at my door.
Hey Rob, can you speak to them about sponsorship?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, because I'm happy to put in the good word for a pizza shop that's
I'm happy to learn a script to pizzas. No pizza comes close to Pete's.
They could actually probably deliver out to me quicker than what I could get my Uber Eats because of the not understanding what an address is.
I give them like a $5 tip every time I deliver a pizza because it's still cheaper than getting a pizza off Uber Eats. And the guy delivering it gets that $5 cash in his pocket. He's just like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. And so,
that probably gives him the motivation to actually deliver it quicker as well. Like, hey, I'll get out here quick. This guy will give me $5.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Scooter, I wouldn't really call having Domino's the best thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, I have one about 300 meters from my house.
Dave, kick him out. Kick out Rob. Kick out Rob. Kick him out.
And e-scooter.
Nah, e-scooter can stay. E-scooter just.
I've had nights where I've been walking home from my local bar. It's like 11 o'clock, drunk. I haven't had dinner.
I was about to say, you've been stumbling home, and you're like, the only option that I've got is Domino's. I'm that drunk. That seems like a good option.
And I could be eating cardboard or Domino's.
Yeah,
you can get a large pizza.
I could get this dirt and the cardboard and put it together.
But I can order on the app on my phone. You can get a large pizza for well under $10. I think.
Rob, there's a good reason why you can get a pizza for under $10 because half of the ingredients aren't pizza.
I know, but you can get food in your stomach.
Pizza product.
You can You get food in your stomach when you're drunk for like $6 or $7. That's half the price of a beer.
Rob,
Yeah.
I got one answer for you. You live in the northern suburbs. Kebab. Always go kebab.
Yeah, I don't have a kebab shop near me.
Then move. You need to leave wherever you live. Even Dave has kebab places, and he lives out in the bush.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got Skippy the Bush Kangaroo Kebab House.
He sent us a photo today complaining about his kebab shop.
No, what the problem was, right? There's someone had opened up many kebab shops in this area, and for some reason, they've sold some of them.
Yeah.
Now, there's a certain ethnicity that's taken over the one closest to us that shouldn't be making kebabs.
Boovie, it's pronounced Kebabistan. We've discussed this many a time.
So now I go to we gave them another chance a few weeks ago, and it was a failure. So we said never again. And now we go to the next closest kebab shop, which has the right ethnicity making kebabs. I don't know what I don't understand, but yeah.
So Rob's gonna find better kebabs.
Kebab works in person.
Problem solved.
We're going.
There you go.
We're having a boys' night at my house.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sim racing, motorsport. I might even pump up a soccer ball for you to kick, Matt.
Oh, I'd say I didn't.
Is that a penalty?
I think that's a penalty. Someone, wait. Just checking with race control. Yep. Yeah, Dave, you're gonna have to kick him out for 5 seconds.
No, Mikey, it's not right.
You know what we should do now, Dave? End the show now and then let Rob come back in.
Good night, everyone.
And we're done.
Well, it probably is a good time to call it because it's past my time.
Yep.
So no quiz next week. Quiz the week after.
Yep.
If anyone wants to join in the quiz, drop me an email, dave@supercarstalk.com. And you too can partake in the quiz against myself and Rob.
Because Bobby doesn't want to this year.
Social medias, which will hopefully get done at some point.
Well, our social media manager.
We'll be on Instagram, Twitter,
Only plants? Did you say only plants?
Those plans. Gonna do some baking.
Oh yeah, that's right. E-Scoot is our defending chat champion.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is also the chat championship to go as well.
Dave will have to make a Facebook page since I'm not on the Facebook.
The Book of Face. We will get social stuff up and running, and we will be a professional outfit in 2 weeks.
I may even update my LinkedIn profile.
Perfect.
Social media manager for backseat drivers.
No.
That'll look good on the resume.
I talk too much shit about work on you.
All right. And on that note,
see you all.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everyone.